All right, we're here with UND volleyball coach Jason Reed. After a 3-1 victory over Truman State, coach, let's just dive right into this victory and give us sort of your immediate reaction to beating the Bulldogs in 4.
This is a great win over a real quality program. They're very well coached. This weekend, we played great, and so today really kind of carried over from yesterday. We had a good week of practice. I thought that we really were firing on all cylinders. Some of the numbers-wise, it looks real good on the pins, but our hats are off to the middles, who may not reflect it in the stat sheet of what they did. They touched a lot of volleyballs. They held the middle blockers a ton. They did an exceptional job, even though it doesn't show up in the stats for them.
And you mentioned the stats. Kate Bontrager's career high in 20 kills, but Becca and Casey with double-digit kills, and it's all, of course, starting from Maggie, who's distributing the ball. Give us a little bit of the insight as far as these numbers on the page and what you saw from individuals.
Yeah, so oddly enough, this week in practice, we worked on a lot of shots, trying to give the hitters some more tools, and that's a scary thing, because sometimes, as coaches, you give the players this shot and they just use it and use it and use it. And our players, to their credit, really played the game well despite having a few new tools in the tool bag. And so that was really cool to see that they were still being aggressive, even though we worked on some off-speed shots or some tips. They pulled those out at the right times, and it really made a big difference in the score.
90 team digs led by Haley, who's been just incredible in the back row for you in the libero role recently, especially.
Yeah, Haley's done a really nice job. It's challenging when you go from being an attacker to a defensive player where you can't win it for us anymore as a libero. You can only kind of hurt us. And so I think everyone kind of goes through a natural progression where you're getting used to just having to do your job at a really high level. These past couple weeks, starting with Bellarmine last weekend, man, she was a vacuum then, and this weekend was the same. She's doing a really nice job. She's serving tough as well, and she's really doing a nice job. She's embracing that role, even though it's kind of out of position a little bit for her.
You're still putting a young team out there. In the first set, though, you finally, really came through in the end to get that victory. In the second and third, it was, toward the end, and the second set there, and then in the third set, it was a little bit choppy at the end. So how is this team sort of responding to these close sets and then, coming out on top in 3 of the 4 of them tonight?
We've been in close sets the entire season. Mm-hmm. And we're starting to win some of those close sets. So with our young group, as you mentioned, they're starting to find a little bit of consistency, but every now and again the freshman thing, whatever it is, kind of rears its ugly head, and we'll have these runs of 5 or 8 or whatever it is. Fortunately, built up a cushion of 10 points, and we're able to kind of get through it. But that's one of the last pieces of the puzzle. If we can kind of learn to end a run in 2 points rather than 8, that's going to be a huge difference. If we're playing, we're earning our points. We're not necessarily getting beat, but we kind of take our foot off the gas, and it reflects in the score a little bit. But we're finding a way to win some of those closer matches, which we weren't doing earlier in the year, and I think we're growing in confidence, and it's going to be a good thing down the stretch.
Speaking of down the stretch, what's the mentality of the goal this next few weeks in practice, knowing that every match really is important for the conference tournament?
So this week in practice, before our Monday practice, the girls got together and kind of established some goals, some things that they wanted to do, and so I think that they've kind of put themselves out there in terms of it's on them now, and so we've got to get back to work on Monday, and that was kind of what we talked about at the end of this match was, Kate, you just had 20 kills, and that's great. Are you going to coast through practice this week, or are you going to focus on getting a little bit better? So we're trying to really not be content, be happy with the wins this weekend, but really focus on still trying to get better as we move forward for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this next week.
Thank you.